Listen, it is a pain in the butt to honestly keep looking at that laptop, and I'm frustrated with myself. And also, by the way, I was just looking at the monitor. I'm going to be better. I'm frustrated with myself that I don't have yet a table right here in front of me. The way this office is set up, as you can tell, I'm like facing sideways. It's just this. It's not a huge space. It doesn't provide me to have a desk between myself and the camera. The desk is to the left. You can see that. I have a bookshelf right here. Doesn't work, but I'm not going to get a new office right now. I'm going to just keep doing this, and I'm going to keep adding to it so that it works properly. A little side table is going to be the move so that I can look at the laptop and even see if someone joins these things, which, there'll be a day. I love at the end of these when it says the concurrent users whatever. It's just funny. I don't want to bore you with all of that, but I am going to talk about time today because it's such a critical part of this. And if you don't invest early, you're not going to get the results you want later. And that's why I am not going to stop and look for another office or another proper setup or any of those things. I'm going to keep going, keep pushing, because I know the real payoff is because I'm going to improve every day. And that's the topic of today. So I want to use these live streams to test out some ideas in my head. Yesterday, I talked about my frustration that I've gotten a little too complacent and a little too comfortable. And I am doubling down on my commitment to improve on this. I have a little bit more time today, so I'm still going live, but I'm going to tease up some ideas so I can do a proper video tomorrow. It's still going to be hard. My guests are still here. I love them so much. They're actually giving me more space than expected. It's thrown me off a little bit because I could have done some different things, but it's all about me not being aware of my time available and how I could properly use it. I'm also battling with time of my past, and I'm going to quickly explain that. This week, this holiday week, all across the US and I'm sure other parts of the world, for people who are business people, workers, whatever, who have more time off during this week, you tend to do nothing. You tend to watch shows. You tend to watch movies. You tend to do puzzles, play games. If you're playing games with a family, that's totally a positive thing. I'm talking about time alone, just absorbing media, watching sports. NFL is literally several days a week this week. I love Premier League soccer. They're playing tomorrow again. They've had a ton of games this week. There's just so much entertainment available to you. I used to watch Marvel movies this week in the past. So there's so much in my battling in my head about, man, I love the holiday season because I can do this, this, and this. People watch Hallmark movies. Everyone has their own thing. But if I'm going to be successful, I must invest this time now, no matter what it is, no matter what holiday it is, and even when guests are visiting, because those guests, like I said yesterday, are going to support this. They're going to be okay with my time being spent on this. They're actually going to value it. So I'm fighting this fight, and I'm aware of it, and I'm talking about it, and I'm reflecting on it today on this video, because if I don't invest the time now, I know I am not going to reap the rewards later. And that's my message to you, is just go now. Take action. Whatever you know is impactful, do it today. That's the first activity to do today. And you will get the payoff later. There are so many times in my life where this has come up, and I talk about them as in positive memories of my decision to go now. And then a year goes by and I'm like, man, look at that result. And the people around me, or my friends at the time, whatever, maybe I didn't rub it in their face, but maybe they're thinking, man, I wish I had started a year ago. So one time I got my master's degree. I had a friend, he wanted to get a master's degree. He knew the importance of furthering his education. We wanted better jobs, etc. And I registered, and I picked, and I started. And 2 years later, I had one of the degrees accomplished. I ended up getting 2 master's degrees. And I remember just talking about how, hey, I finished a master's degree, and he didn't he didn't say it necessarily, but I knew he felt it, that if he had just started, he would already have his master's degree. And this was part-time. And just like, it's that investment, that start now kind of mentality. When it comes to working out, which I've mentioned multiple times here, you choose the high impactful movements, the high impactful exercises. And if you start today, the results will compound themselves. And a year from now, you'll look completely different. Your friends will actually, if some of your friends may actually forget the fact that you were way different a year ago. They'll maybe even think that, well, like now he's this fit guy or whatever. But if they had just started then, if they had just made that commitment then, if they had started giving a little consistent effort then, they'd have that same result. And then, gosh, like you add another year to it, and now you definitely look like someone who's been fit forever. But people fail to remember that just 2 years ago, you were just starting out. You start now, you get the payoff later. It's like planting a seed. My daughter is a huge, very knowledgeable about plants. In fact, I got 2 in here that I've actually been able to keep alive, and I'm pretty proud of myself. Prior to these 2 plants being in my office, the best I could ever do is like a bamboo plant. Gosh, a money tree back in the day. But I am now successful because I have proper plants that don't require a lot of maintenance, that can grow, blah, blah, blah. But she is fantastic. Plants everywhere in her room. That honestly, she would love to do that all the time. Like that probably is her number one passion. So planting that seed today and just taking care of it will lead to a flourishing plant a year from now. I guess I don't know the time, but the point is, invest today, watch it grow. Delayed gratification. It's a whole nother video. Like, there's so much meat in this topic that I can turn into other videos. I'm excited about it. I want to use these live streams to kind of get my thoughts clear on some of these topics. But just that delayed gratification, lifting is delayed gratification, planting seeds is delayed gratification, starting this YouTube channel, 100% delayed gratification. If I didn't start shooting videos, I wouldn't be in this moment where I'm starting to get excited about trying different things out, getting super comfortable watching myself on video, whether good or bad. I mean, I don't like, the point is, most of the time, it's your comfort watching yourself on video that's the concern. Hardly any, like, who cares about other people's? Like, it's usually like your brain that gets in the way of you doing this because you don't necessarily like seeing yourself or hearing yourself. But I'm getting comfortable with all that. If I didn't start November 24th, I wouldn't even be close to where I am today with this process. And so I'm very excited that I did it. I'm very excited that I have the knowledge that I've already gained, and I know that I'm going to really get better, and I'm comfortable with the pace of it all. So delayed gratification on that. There's so many great activities. Eating protein first thing in the morning for those that care about nutrition. As soon as you wake up, eat heavy protein. It starts the metabolism. It gets things going. Your body reacts positively to it. It's just like that investment early pays off later. Money, duh. Like, we can, I don't want this to be in any way a fitness or investment channel, but there are so many examples of compound interest with money. The quicker you get that money invested, the quicker it's going to grow. You get that payoff. So I'm battling with my time and thinking about the priorities that I should be doing. It's normal. Everyone goes through that. Today, knowing that I had more time, I wasn't ready with a plan for that time. It's just something I'm going to get better at, checking time, speaking of time. So I don't like, this is a massive topic. Time is obviously something that people my age pay a hell of a lot more attention to. Our time clock starts to be limited. When people ask me, like, about like different companies that I could work for, I work for a great company right now, but people ask me, like, well, what about that? What about that? Would you go over there? It's hard for me to consider that it's hard for me to think about those because the time it takes to establish myself in a company, if I were to leave my current company, would be significant. And do I have enough time to invest early and get the payoff with that new organization? That's the question. When you start your career, it's clear that that investment early will pay off. So time to me is definitely going to be different than to time to other people. But I want to talk about impact, effort early, compound payoffs, reaping those rewards when you plant those seeds. And I'm really going to I think I can make 5 videos out of this topic. So what are you going to plant today? What could you invest in today? What decisions have you been battling with about wanting to do something that if you did it today, a year from now, you'd be like, man, I'm really glad I started that a year ago. Do it. Start today. Let's all get on board. Checking out. We'll talk tomorrow.